Hi, everybody. How's it going? This is Soccerex TV. I'm here with Jon Mugar, founder and CEO of TST. You might know him from TBT, but now we're moving into TST. Jon, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Austin.
So, the TST first edition, can you talk a little bit about how we got here and how this tournament is going to play out?
It came about through a LinkedIn message a couple of years ago from a group of former soccer players from University of Virginia asking if we had ever considered taking our $1 million winner-take-all, open to all concept from basketball and applying it to other sports, specifically soccer and 7v7. We have always considered doing this format elsewhere, but we wanted to make sure that TBT was on solid footing until we expanded, and it was the right time for that message to come in and the right group to help us pull it off.
So I know that Clint Dempsey was involved in this from the beginning. Can you talk about how that relationship might have formed and how he became part of the early parts of the success of this?
Sure. This group of former players out of UVA had connections to Clint, so they patched me into him. They patched me into others in the soccer world, and they were unbelievably valuable resources. I grew up playing basketball and baseball. That's what I played through college, and I'm first to admit that I don't have the same insight into soccer as I would have been comfortable having in starting a new sport and an event from scratch. So they really helped bridge the gap there, connected us to Clint. And he was essential, has been essential in taking a look at our rules and weighing in on that, in addition to forming a team and playing in this year's event.
So you have players like Clint Dempsey. I saw you have Chad Johnson that's going to be there. You even have Cesc Fabregas. Talk about what it's like to, in its first edition, having such high profile names, people who have played the sport, who talk about the sport. It must be really exciting that this has had so much success right off the bat.
It's exciting for others. For me, it's very stressful. It causes a lot of anxiety to know that on 9 a.m. Thursday on June 1, we're going to start a new event, a new sport, new rules in front of such a high profile audience and a large audience. So there are going to be a lot of eyes here. We've been testing our rules and our game formats, and all of that has gone well. But once you put $1 million on the table and you make it winner take all and you invite high profile people, it's just going to add a new layer of stress and other issues to manage. So we're prepared now, doing TBT for 9 years, and we know what to expect, but it's still a new sport.
And you spoke a bit about the rules. For people who don't know, this is a brand new format. It's 7v7. And they also have the Elam rule, which is at the end of the game, they add one goal and you have to win on a goal. How did you come up with these really unique rules? Who came into that, the meticulousness of coming up with those rules?
So the soccer group, Mike Henry and Lecco, were the ones who suggested 7v7. They suggested the smaller field, the dimensions, and they suggested no slide tackling, no offsides, 2 20-minute halves. And we've had such great success with TBT ending all games on a made basket that we said, hey, could we do this in soccer? What would that look like? So after the end of the second half, we're going to do target score time. We'll add 1 to the leading team's score, and that will be the target score. And the first team to hit that wins. So that will get, as it does in basketball, eliminate all the stalling and all the issues that plague the end of games. And in that final period too, we're going to pull a player off the field every 5 minutes. And that has been testing evenly well and exciting. So we'll go down to 66, 5v5, 4v4 until the target is hit.
It's fascinating. So it starts June 1st. It goes until the 4th. It's in North Carolina. Why North Carolina? And do you envision it jumping around to different cities as it evolves?
I would say one of our greatest objectives was player safety in a high quality competition field and playing surface. And we wanted to be on the East Coast because we envision this being a worldwide player pool, which it is. And there aren't very many options. And Cary, North Carolina at Wake Med Soccer Park has hosted huge tournaments before. They have 8 beautiful grass fields. We took many visits down there. We're very comfortable with how they take care of those fields. So we knew from a player perspective and the competition standpoint, it's first class every step of the way. And our vision for this is like the US Open is in tennis, multiple games happening at the same time, allow fans to get up close and personal with the sport, put toes on the chalk, if you will, and that they're going to allow us to do that. So we're going to have 5 fields running simultaneously. They're all going to be extremely high quality fields, and the player pool will be pleased with that.
This, of course, is a new format, 7v7, like you said, smaller fields, but it does include a lot of high profile. Eventually, do you think that this format could translate to a more professionalized version where maybe there is, while like in other sports, how they have different formats, this is maybe the first one that's been reintroduced to soccer in a long time?
Absolutely. I mean, the names are all great, but the sport has to stand on its own. And we'll be able to see in 2.5 weeks just how well this stands up. We've been testing it. It's performed extremely well. Very, very exciting. And we're going to finish it all on June 4th with $1 million game where the second place team gets nothing. So those players are going to come hard. Every single play in that game is going to matter. We think that it's going to propel our version of the sport and put it in front of many, many people and propel it pretty far. So people ask me, what is the ceiling for a 7v7? It's really a World Cup. And why couldn't it be? So we're getting great brands to enter, great players to enter. We just have to execute at this point.
And what do you think it says about the evolution of the game or an appetite like we were talking about for a different format? Do you think that is your goal to hit a younger audience, or do you think you have mass appeal at this level, or something that might start more at the lower, digital media kind of hungry fan base?
I think our goal is really to innovate, and that's something that we've found a niche for in basketball. There's so many great leagues and monopolies and people who've achieved financial success in the highest reaches of every sport, and there's not necessarily incentive for them to take risk. Once you're the Premier League, why would you ever tinker with the rules and make adjustments? And that's, I think, is the spirit of the entrepreneurial spirit that we have as a smaller group. We're very nimble. We want to try new things. We want to take risks. And that is our bread and butter in basketball. And now will be in soccer as well. So that's the appeal. Our games will be wrapped up in under an hour, which I think helps to draw a new audience. And that's really our goal.
Fantastic. So before we go, tell people where they could watch us, how they could follow it, and any other key information that you want to tell them before this gets kicked off on June 1st.
Sure. On site will be in Wakemed in Soccer Park down in Cary, North Carolina. We're sold out of a few of the sessions, but we still have about half the sessions remaining. We anticipate being at capacity and selling out the event. So get tickets through thetournament.com. You'll be able to watch and stream all games. We have a broadcast partner that we're going to be announcing next week, but you'll be able to find all information through thetournament.com.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations where you are at this point. I hope everything goes well, and looking forward to seeing this really incredible event play out.
Thanks a lot, Austin.